Alright guys, so I stretched the moose hide on this 4 poles and I brought it outside, so now it's frozen since it's winter, and it's a lot easier frozen to scrape off all the fat and tissues. So that's what I'm doing here slowly. I gotta be careful not to go through the hide, so it's kind of a learning curve. It's the first time I do this, so we're learning. Big shout out to Andre Francois Bourbeau, who gave me a lot of tips. My friend on online, so through email anyways, he sent me a bunch of tips. A couple errors that I did is that I didn't put support corners to hold my frame, and then when I stretched it, ideally I should have got the hide a lot more wet, so I should have put it in water for a few days, but I didn't have a big enough basin to put the hide in it. So anyways, we're learning as we go. We'll see how this turns out. So we're making some progress. You gotta put enough pressure on it to remove some fat and some flesh and stuff, but you don't want to go too much pressure to make a hole. So it's quite the tedious process. Just using a scraper that I made myself. So it's just a 90-degree there with a rounded edge that I sharpened. And I used a white birch for the handle. Alright, so the flesh side, I scraped lots yesterday, but it's not quite cold enough for easy scraping, so I'm gonna wait for it to be a little bit colder, because yesterday around -15 was going good, but then it warmed up like -5. It was a lot harder to scrape. So anyways, I turned it around, got it on the hair side. What I'm gonna do now is I am gonna yeah, I'm just with my son, but so what we're gonna do is we're gonna get it to we're gonna shave off the hair as much as possible with the knife, and then I'm doing it with the scraper to get all the hair off. The scraper I gotta resharpen quite often. Like, I just do a small section and then I gotta sharpen it. Same thing with the knives. It's really tough on knives. This is like some super thick hair, so see that? Really thick. So anyways, I gotta get it all off. I know there's another method that you can do. Is you can like soak it or just leave it kind of for a few weeks and then it'll come off by itself. But I didn't want it to get all stinky, so I decided to just do it this method. There's tons of different methods when you do research, but essentially what I'm doing is I gotta take all the hair off, and then I gotta take all the flesh and the fat off to get it as clean as possible. So which method I use to do that, I do, but this is kind of how I'm going right now about it. I'm new to doing this, so I'm going to be learning by doing, trial and error. This way of learning I find is a lot more challenging, but it's very rewarding because you're doing most of it by yourself. And then once you did it once or twice, then things go a lot smoother. So I got I got 3 birch bark canoes that I did so far. 3 bark canoes. Now I'm moving to something a little bit different. Making moccasins or snowshoes and stuff like that with moose hide, and making birch bark canoes. Those are both kind of the things that I always found really impressive as a kid. So I'm going to try to learn as much as I can and share it. Not enough of this type of stuff on YouTube, so. Couper les cheveux.
Sure.
You gotta cut the hairs.
What?
The hairs. We gotta cut the hairs.
Why?
Why? Because this way we can have some nice, smooth leather.
Why?
Why? For making snowshoes.
Shoes.
Snowshoes.
Why?
Why do we want to make snowshoes? So we can walk on the snow.
Why? No. Why?
Why? Because this way it'd be easier to move around in the forest.
Yes. Wow. Why?
Why? Well, because we can also do, if I do the rawhide, I can do moose hide. I can do like rawhide lacings for snowshoes and tying things, lashings. But if I do the full tanning process, then we can do moccasins, we can do some clothing, some jackets.
Why?
Why? Because it's gonna look good.
Why is good?
Because it's cool, it's nice, unique.
Why? Why?
Why?
Why? Cause. Why?
Because?
Why? Why? Whoa! 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 Whoa!
That's trop paumé.
Whoa,
Trop paumé.
oui. midi, 3 midi, 1 midi, 3
Tu vas aller mettre tes mitaines?
non, 1 midi, 3 non, 1 midi, 3 mais la foot, c'est à manger. Maman, c'est là, maman.
Tu vas aller manger?
Non, non, ça c'est à manger. Non, ça c'est à manger. Ça c'est à manger. Ah, il monte.
Alright guys, so I got a lot of it scraped on this side, most of the flesh off and most of the fat off, and on the other side I took a lot of the hair off, probably 3/4 off. But since I forgot to do the initial soaking, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it off the frame here and soak it, and then I'll stretch it back on the frame later and then keep going. It's too warm to do effective easy scraping right now with the scraper. I think like colder than -20 for this technique is probably more ideal. Right now we have like -5. So anyways, I'll soak it for a couple days. I think it'll fit in my big pot that I use for boiling spruce roots. So I'm gonna throw it in that pot just with water, and I think that's gonna do is it'll clean it up a bit, and then it's gonna loosen up some of the hairs, so that it'll be easier to finish off scraping and cutting the hairs off. And then after that, once everything's cleaned out, I'll have some rawhide to do my snowshoes. So yeah, let's take it off the frame. I think by stretching it not soaked, it was harder. I think it was harder to stretch it because it wasn't soaked. So once I get it soaked and it's really full of water, it should stretch a little bit more easily. I want it to be as tight and stretched out as possible. That makes it easier to scrape. So the next time that I'll stretch it, hopefully I do a better job at stretching, pulling on the cords. But now by having less hair on it, it's going to take up less room in the tub to soak. So lots of cordage. I probably could have gotten away with doing less holes, probably half the amount that I did, because I did them every like about 3 inches. I probably could have went every 6 inches, but that's not a big deal. I just resharpened the knife, so I'm going to take off as much hair as I can while my knife is sharp. Probably do a square foot maybe, and then we'll bring it back in the garage, let it thaw out, and then put it inside the pot. Must have sharpened my knife 5-6 times today. I didn't even shave off the whole thing yet. Stuff is like super thick. Just getting some of the snow off the hide. So since the last time that I filmed, I got this in the water for 2 days. And then what I did is I stretched it on my frame. And by having it in the water, definitely got it more soft. So I was able to pull it really tight. And being the second time that I do it, I was a lot more skilled to tighten up all the ropes. So now, see if I shake it like that, you can see it's really like well stretched out. And today's really cold. Today it's minus 16 this morning. Now it's more like minus 9, but still the colder the better. So I've started scraping all the hair off. So it's just a matter of keep on scraping. Tool that I did works well, so I'll just kind of show you, but we're just keep on going. Got to get all the hairs off everywhere. Keep scraping. That's some thicker hair that I didn't cut short enough. Being wet, they froze on there too, so it's gonna be a tough scrape. I think I'm gonna have to sharpen here soon. Starting to get tougher. Inch by inch, foot by foot. We'll get there. just gotta keep scraping. Love Robert Badine's channel. He did a whole series of videos right on this moose hide tanning, and just awesome videos. So make sure you guys go check out Robert Badine. I'll put a link in the description of my video. But yeah, like he says, just gotta keep scraping. Scraping and scraping. My neighbor helped me to bring this in the yard, because I stretched it in the front yard here. Well, I stretched it in the garage, which is in the front yard, but then I needed to bring it out here to have some room and then let it freeze. It's a pretty heavy frame. So anyways, I asked him, hey neighbor, you want to help me move something heavy? And I said, don't judge me, it's a big moose hide. So when he came out of his house to come help me, he saw it and then he said, no, I don't judge you. He says that's exactly the type of project that you would do. He knows I spend a lot of time just bushcrafting and making canoes and all this kind of stuff. But check this out, guys. This is the shavings that I'm taking off. So it's very, very thin. Like every streak that I do takes out a little piece like that. And it just basically thins it down slowly. Takes out the root of the hairs. This part in the middle that I have left is the part where it's basically the back, like just the top of the back. So there's our longer, thicker hairs there on the moose. It's a little bit more difficult to remove, but I'm definitely making some leeway, so can't give up now. Check this out, just how thick that is. It's just like what's up, guys? This is where I'm at with the hide. So this is the hair side. So I got all the longer hairs off and pretty much finished thinning it down and scraping it for now. So I'm concentrating today mostly on getting most of the hair off on the edges, because what's going to happen for the next step is that I'm going to take it off the frame. I'm going to have to cut off all of the old loops, so wherever there's a cord I got to cut that off, so that'll take off all the hairs that I'm not able to get to because of these ropes. So pretty much going off of Robert Badine's videos, which are tons of help. So yeah, this is the hair side, and then according to his videos, like he said, the thickest part of the hide is the back, and I definitely saw that where the longer hairs were on the back. So I thinned that down, and this is all the hair side. But let's flip it over. I'll lean it up against my my deck there, and then we're going to be able to see kind of the size and what the other flesh side looks like. It's not quite cold enough. It's only -10, so I've been working on it mostly at night with a headlamp. It's down to -15, and that's a lot better. Ideally I'd want to get -20s, but so far this winter is not very cold, so Alright, tired of scraping, and I think it's pretty good for now. I'm going to take it off the frame and put it in the water, and then cut all the edges off, the old loops off. Yes, one more step. Once I take out all the old loops, I gotta make new loops, and then I can do from there, put it on the frame again and do a final scraping. But I'll see, maybe I'll just let it kind of dry as a rawhide for now, and then go from there later. But anyways, rawhide. Alright guys, so as you saw, I got all the edges off and I did new holes. Now I stretched it back on the frame. It does need another scraping just to get rid of some more of these hairs. But yeah, a lot of work. So thanks for watching if you're still watching after all that scraping. But now the stage that we're at is rawhide. So I could cut this down into strips and make snowshoes or lashings or things like that. So it's a good kind of stage to be at. And this is only half the moose. So I have another half that I'm going to start working on and removing some of the hairs and stuff in the garage. It's going to be the same kind of process. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments if you have any good ideas, any tips, if you've did this before. What I'm going to do with these is I'm going to do the whole tanning process. So I want to get to the stage where I could use it for moccasins or for mittens. So that'll take me quite a while, so it'll be kind of a ongoing series. So I look forward to some more videos on more steps coming up. So yeah, it's not super cold right now. It's only like -10, so the scraping is not that great, but it's not bad. But it's supposed to be like -20, 25 next week. So I'm going to try to scrape this one to get it off my frame, and then I'll get the other one ready and stretched out so that when it does get cold I can work on the other hide. Awesome.